Hi, my love.
Hi.
Are you ready for the training?
Yeah, I'm so excited. So excited.
We're about to start and it's everyone's arriving and it feels amazing and awesome.
Yeah.
My homework is to ask you a couple of questions of how it went for you before. And I want to hear basically what's the impact that you've had from training with SoHA. First of all, tell me, because I know that you just finished a retreat, and I just want to hear on your success stories and what has been going on lately in your life.
Okay. Yeah. This year has been like massive, I think, for my own kind of personal growth and my business growth. And last November, I finished the 300 hour, and it felt like this kind of everything coming to make sense. And obviously, Vaidika was very business focused and like practical, as well as really philosophical and deep. And I remember me and Alina saying like everything just clicked and made sense. And
Vaidika Dharma after
yeah, yeah,
after
yeah,
training, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I think I remember you saying that often the third piece, the third 100 hour often feels like that for people because it's like everything has come together. And the way that the 300-hour modules are conjoined, it just makes sense. They all complement each other. I think obviously by that point I had already decided I was doing a retreat. But I think after that point was when I was like, right, my website is up there, but it's not live. I'm going to make it better. I started being so much more on it with my newsletter and my marketing and like seeing myself as a business. Because I think for a while I was like, oh, like I'm a yoga teacher, but I'm not a business. I'm just teaching a bit of yoga here and there. And I think it was a real encouragement and inspiration to be like, no, actually, this is what I'm doing now. And I do have loads to offer. And everything I've learned through Soha was like, there is a reason you're doing this and you have something to share. And yeah, and then the retreats were just amazing. And I think, there's so much I learned from you and from the trainings that helped me be able to hold those spaces in such a good way, I think. And, even just straightforwardly, some of the girls I met on the trainings came, in the first one, Sarah came and was like amazing assistant and also shared some of her breathwork stuff and helped me create the mandala. And Alina came and Krupa came. And yeah, it was really nice to feel like I had the threads you talk about kind of coming together away from Bali as well. And yeah, I just think that
Like the networking. The
yeah, the
networking that was
networking.
created in the training then lasted longer and then came together to support your own retreats.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
I know. The Soha family, it's just so bonded together and and even now, like Irene and Manu are finishing their retreat and they're also, it's so powerful
Yeah.
to see all of you joining together and creating amazing things together. So things that you specifically would say shifted, helped you to shift. Like let's say in the Vedic Dharma, you kind of blended all the trainings together and helped you kind of see into the for future of the business of yoga and becoming more comfortable with that to then create your own retreats and then selling out because you sold out your first retreat and it was like boom, super
Yeah.
success right away. How did that
Yeah. Yeah, incredible. And I think like there was part of it that was like, oh my God, have I actually done this? But then I thought, you know what? I've spent a lot of time in investing in myself and my offerings, and it makes sense, it's not a fluke. I have spent essentially with the 300 hours, 3 years. I mean, I did them in a way where I had a training and I came home, I integrated it. I did another training, I came home, I integrated it. And by that final year, it was like everything. I had all the tools. I remember in November with Vaidika that we spoke a lot about what was our task to get on top of. And I think for like as in what's something we're maybe a bit more uncomfortable with that we're keeping ourselves maybe a bit stuck or like fear where do we maybe have fear that oh if I run a workshop and no one's going to come and you just have to make the plunge sometimes or investing in making a website and those little things that feel like oh but am I ready for it and actually it's like you are ready and it does matter like it does matter your brand it's not everything but it there was a couple people on my retreat in September who were like, "Who made your website? It was so clear." And I was like, "Me, made that." I was like, "It's not even like that fancy, but I put my heart into it, and you don't need to always like source someone to create it. Obviously, it does help sometimes to have some help, and also that's why I remember you saying to me that you would recommend having someone on your team on a retreat or a training who's going to support you. Yeah, I think both retreats I've had like a straightforward assistant and then someone who's come as a guest teacher and they've also been like backup assistant when number one assistant has gone off somewhere. So it's like having your network. Yeah.
It's so helpful having the network and yeah, basically going through your branding, going through focusing on like what are the things that you're lagging behind in, and then how to improve those steps to then actually achieve your vision, which was creating retreats of your own and all of these things together with networking and allowing
Yeah.
those that because many people go through the imposter syndrome, and the lack of confidence or but as you say, once you finish your training, you have enough time to gather all that knowledge and investment and feel a
Yeah.
lot more empowered about it and then just go and take that leap forward.
I think that's a really big thing as well, in that I felt comfortable by the end of all my trainings that actually I have a lot to say and I've dedicated time to the learning and the studying and seeking inspiration from others that I now actually feel like of course there's moments where I have imposter syndrome, but I actually do feel like I have a lot of wisdom to share and I think I felt confident in the fact that actually I have put in the hours and I have something to give now. I always had something to give, but I have something I felt comfortable to share that space. Like it was 21 people and there are moments when I was like I'm actually younger than everyone here and it's by the end there was like a sharing circle at the end and one woman was like, "Sarah, I learned today that you're 26." I was like like it's like a worry that people are going to be like, "Oh, you're 26, so you actually don't know a lot." But I know actually in my heart that I've been doing training since I was like 21 and practicing yoga since I was like 16 and I actually do have a lot to share and I do feel confident in what I'm offering and it's authentic. I think it's not show. I actually feel confident in what I'm sharing. And that I do credit to dedicating time to fly out to Bali and learn from the best and be in these groups where everyone is doing the same and is like-minded and supportive. So yeah.
So, what were the main things that inspired you from lucid flow, elements, Vaidika Dharma, even, yeah, like what are the main outcomes, payoffs that you feel were the strongest for you?
With lucid flow, it completely changed the way that I moved, the way I spoke, the way I taught. I felt way more in tune with my body and way more in tune with like why I'm teaching a certain way, the vinyasa krama and the sequencing and the fascia. It kind of, I had more knowledge in like the body itself. And then obviously with elements, it was similar, but it was like a whole new lens in the way I could teach as well. I feel like elements really shifted the way I share because I talk now a lot about TCM, and elements gave me such a framework for being able to go home and offer workshops because it works really nicely doing seasonal workshops. And I started doing mandala pop-ups and master classes all around the elements. And people love it. They love learning about the meridians. And it's so interesting. And it's not like people do talk about it and it is known, but it's not often that you hear it in a regular class. And yeah, it allows me to talk about the seasons and just the beauty of how we're cyclical beings as well. And yeah, I think after elements, my ability to offer something a bit bigger and, for others and for me, a bit more abundant and higher scale became very apparent. And then with Vaidika Dharma, it was like the philosophy just bloomed, and I felt so much more in touch with Vedanta and like the teachings at the core and all the things I had been thinking about for a while and understanding for a while, but it just all started to click, that thing of wholeness and why we're doing what we're doing and the art of devotion and the heart behind it all, because lucid flow, it's also quite light and playful. And um then by the end it all just I think by that one as well, it worked well for me doing it in that order, because I think by the third 100 hour I was ready for it to be more of a business. Maybe if I had done that one first and lucid flow last, I don't know, it would have worked out perfectly, I'm sure. But I probably, what was it, in 2022 when I did lucid flow, I wasn't probably ready to start thinking about retreats just yet, or thinking of myself as like a big business at that point. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. This is all very helpful. What was Sarah, like how was Sarah before SoHA? Like what were you going through? Where were you before it all started with SoHA? How were you feeling?
Um, Way less confident. Um, like I felt a lot, like I had a lot to give, but I wasn't sure how to give it, maybe, and still relying on maybe more the validation of others, or the opportunities that others give you, and rather than seeking it from myself and being like, actually, I can make my own decisions and make my own dreams. And I was teaching at a studio where it was the dynamic between me and the owner was a bit complicated, and I think I felt quite small a lot of the time. And honestly, when I came to Bali and did that first training, I did go home like, actually, like I can step out of this if I need to, and I have a lot to give, and I don't need to make myself small. I think that was when I think about pre-2020, that was sort of more how I was feeling. We were also sort of just out of lockdown and COVID times, and
Yeah.
it was all a bit weird and confusing, and
I
you know,
remember it was so
yeah.
different, and it's so beautiful to watch your transformation on how, like, every training you were developing and blossoming in a different way, and then watching your posts and your stories of, your workshops on your, okay, like it's fall, let's go into the metal element, and you would create a sequence for the metal flow, or it's just progressively until then it's like, okay, retreat in Spain and like sold out, and just watching you go from the beginning of like, hi, I'm Sarah, and almost a little bit shy to speak up, to going like, okay, right, I'm organizing retreats and I'm selling them out and I'm like epic, and it's sold out so much that I'm creating a second one. So so that
Yeah.
was, yeah, really awesome to see. Um, How about price-wise? Because I know that many people have struggles with like the investment part. How do you
Mhm.
feel about the investment in regards to what you received from it?
I think it's challenging, of course, but I think it's honestly priceless education, and people will spend, you know, quadruple the amount on going to university and often never ever use their, I mean,
The knowledge.
but yeah, I know so many people that go to uni and study fine art and then are in something completely different. And of course, it's the experience, but that's why. I mean, my experience at university was more for the people I met, and again, kind of a networking thing. It wasn't, but then I think with a yoga training, if you love it, you get everything. You get what you love, you get the people, you get the community, you get this family, and it is worth it. Obviously, sometimes it's not affordable for people, but if you want it enough, I think you can try and make it work. But I think it's definitely worth it. 100%. I don't have any regrets. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's priceless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so
So good to
welcome.
see you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it's all coming together, and it's kind of everything I've always dreamed of, which is really it's really special to think like, wow, I've actually worked really hard and created a life. I mean, I think something me and Alina always speak about from every training we've done with you, that idea or even just saying of like, make a life that feels nourishing for you. I remember you saying that to me on Lucid Flow when I was still doing loads of shifts at the studio. I was kind of teaching it as well. It was like 6 a.m. and I was running to work and I was stressed. And you were like, maybe have a little look at shifting some things and might feel better for you. And that was my homework when I went home. I went to the studio and I was like, I can't start at 6 anymore. Please, can it be 8? Please, my mental health really needs this. And they agreed. And my whole year was so much better. And even Alina now as well, she's spoken to her work, going down 3 days a week, making more time for teaching yoga, all because she just asked. She asked for it to be possible. And sometimes if you don't ask, you don't get. So yeah, I feel like life is a lot more nourishing now.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. So happy you've created the life that you want.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Soha. I love you.
You.